Power to the Princess, 15 Favorite Tales Retold with Girl Power. Written by Vita Murrow, illustrated by Julia Bereciatru. Belle the Brave. Once upon a time, in a sunny French province, there lived a girl named Belle. Belle the Brave, to be precise, because Belle was fearless. What is fearless? Fearless is breathing deeply when you have to get a shot at the doctors. Fearless is walking proudly through a tangle of spider webs. Fearless is jumping from high rocks into cold water. And in Belle's case, fearless meant venturing into a scary forest when no one else would even consider it. The place was called the Forbidden Forest, after all. It all started one bright and cheery day, when Belle's father had to go on a trip. Each of his daughters had a special request. "Can you bring me back a set of paper and paints?" asked one. "Winter is coming. I'll have a warm hat if you spot one," asked the other. "Belle, what can I bring you?" her father asked. But Belle was busy, studying her map of the Forbidden Forest. "Oh, you know me. Nothing special. Maybe a flower?" The sisters happily waved their father on his way. But after a few days passed and their father hadn't returned, they began to worry. Days turned to a week, and finally Belle realized she alone would need to go in search of him. For among her sisters, she was the best tree climber, cobweb walker, and rocky ledge jumper. Plus, she had been working on her Forbidden Forest map, and this was just the opportunity to try it out. "Are you sure you should be doing this?" fretted Belle's sisters. "It's nearly dark, and what about you know, monsters?" "Monsters, monsters," said Belle. "I'll be perfectly fine." She gave her sisters a big hug and kiss and set off, just as brave as you please, into the night. Soon the call of owls welcomed her as she ventured into the Forbidden Forest. The trail grew thick and brambly, and Belle drew out her trusty map for guidance. An expert tracker and navigator, Belle was quick to identify a route. But as luck would have it, a flash of lightning felled a tree right in her path. "Ah!" Belle moaned, because the tree was too big to climb over, even for her. However, the forest heard her sigh, and the next flash of lightning illuminated another path, leading away from the main one. All right, thought Belle. She'd always suspected the Forbidden Forest had some good hidden secrets. Belle followed this new path and was soon brought to the foot of a great and mysterious castle. It was shrouded in fog, veiled by glistening snow, and circled by an immense rose garden. It nearly took Belle's breath away, but she did manage one word of marvel. Wow! Belle climbed nearly 100 stairs to reach the door. As she leaned against it to catch her breath, the mighty latch gave way, and the door swung open to reveal a great hall. It was dark and freezing cold, without a soul in sight. Belle stepped inside and was just about to call out when the door closed behind her with a great thud and a large shadow took its place. As Belle turned around, she could see that the shadow belonged to an enormous creature. Overgrown and clumsy, with terrible posture and likely terrible breath, too. A beast, really. Belle could also make out someone's feet behind the beast, so she called out, "Papa, is that you?" An exhausted heap of a man was collapsed at the beast's feet. Belle could see that her father was weak and sick, also that he was clutching a once lovely stem of roses. "Gracious!" exclaimed Belle to the beast. "Can't you see he's unwell? Don't just stand there! Help me out!" Belle pulled her father up and found him a soft chair to sit in. She hurried to the hearth to begin making a fire. "What are you doing?" she said to the beast, who was standing like a stunned statue. "Bring in some dry wood, would you?" "I'd like you to leave," the beast bellowed. "Your father was sneaking around on my property, and I'm not one for guests. He is now my prisoner." The shouting stirred Belle's father. "Belle, what on earth are you doing here?" he gasped. "Get out while you still can. This is no place for you. I'll be the judge of that. I caught this man stealing from my rose garden," the beast roared as he pulled Belle's father to his feet. "So one of you is going to pay for it with your freedom." "Oh, don't you threaten me," Belle shot back. "Put my father down right now." The astonished beast let Belle's father fall back into the chair. Belle got right in the beast's face. "Now, here's my counteroffer." she said. "You let my father go, and I'll stay here to repay his debt." And so it was agreed. Belle would stay on as a guest of the Beast. As days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, it wasn't all cupcakes and sprinkles, but it also wasn't all thorns and nettles either. It was true. The Beast was a real grouch and terrible host and kept himself to himself. Yet Belle knew things weren't always as scary as they might first appear. One day, both the Beast and Belle arrived in the pantry at the same time for a snack. They reached for the cookie butter at just the same moment, and the Beast, in a gentler mood than normal, quickly withdrew his hand and made to leave the room. "Wait," Belle said. "Grab me a spoon. We'll split it." The Beast hesitated at the door, and then, to Belle's surprise, turned around, spoon in hand. They sat together, enjoying the cookie butter to the last dollop, and finding, surprisingly, that they had lots to talk about. "Maybe we should do this again sometime," said the Beast shyly. Belle smiled. They kept the cookie butter tradition week after week. In one of their sessions, it turned out that the Beast was a great swing dancer. He taught Belle, and they had hours of fun in the ballroom. One day, the Beast came to Belle with the most unusual request. "I think I need a haircut," he said. "Spending time with you has helped me feel so much better about myself, and I think I'd like to look better, too." "Why, of course," said Belle. When she finished with the Beast, he had a dashing coif, complete with a bun, groomed beard, and even trimmed eyebrows. "I love it," exclaimed the Beast, "and I love you," he added. Belle was pleasantly surprised, for she too loved the Beast, but not as surprised as she was by what followed, for after the Beast spoke, a great flash of light filled the room, as though a firework had been set off. Tiny, dazzling baubles of light rained down around them, and as they fell upon the Beast, he was transformed into, ta-da, just a regular guy. "What?" said Belle. The Beast looked sheepish. "I guess I have some explaining to do," he said. "Some time ago, I was a prince and the victim of a curse. But before you feel sorry for me, I deserved it. I didn't always think about other people. In fact, sometimes I didn't even see past my own nose. I guess you could have called me selfish," offered Belle. "Oh, I was more than selfish, and it caught up with me. One day a fairy arrived at the palace and needed my help. I, of course, couldn't be bothered. When I turned her away, she turned me into a beast." "That sounds a bit harsh," said Belle. "Curses never helped anyone." "She said I would return to my true self when I could see the good in others and then find someone who could see the good in me," the prince continued. Belle nodded. "Well, now you've changed back. Are you going to miss being a beast? There are some pretty cool things you could do." "I'm glad to be myself again, but I learned a lot being a beast, and those lessons will stay with me. I hope you'll stay with me too," the prince said hopefully. "I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be," said Belle. "But first, I'd like to confront this fairy you speak of. Curses are a crime best left in the past, and she should be held accountable." In the morning, the Beast helped Belle map out a journey to find the fairy. Once again, she set off into the Forbidden Forest, which now felt like home. Belle's sharp navigating instincts brought her quickly to the fairy, who reluctantly went with Belle to the Fairyland police. As Belle made to leave the law enforcement station, a high-ranking detective called out to her. "Hey there! Was it you who solved the curse at the Beast's castle?" "Why, yes," said Belle, reaching for the door. "That cold case eluded us for years. I couldn't get a single detective to brave the grounds." "May I ask, weren't you at all afraid?" she pressed. "Afraid of what?" asked Belle. The detective smiled. "Can you stay for a minute? I think we have a job you'd be perfect for." From that day forward, armed with a badge, her bravery, and generous spirit, Belle worked tirelessly at the Fairyland Protection Office of Restorative Justice to protect the community from curses. She reached out to misunderstood magical creatures and helped build bridges between all the corners of the kingdom. Belle was given the undercover name of Beauty because of her ability to see the beauty in everyone and everything. At home in the castle, she and the prince continued to enjoy jars of cookie butter. As their affection grew, the castle and gardens flourished too. One day, when the roses were in peak form, Belle mused these gardens would be perfect for a wedding. The prince agreed. "I know just the two people to celebrate," he added with a wink. So Belle and the prince were married right there in that lovely spot shortly thereafter, and that is how Belle became a princess.